From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big night and evening of evenings, LA, with great updates about your fourth stimulus check of 2021. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we go over the monthly stimulus check starting in the month of July under the fourth stimulus package, how much you're going to get and when you're going to get it, and why the Senate plan is looking a lot better than the House plan, in lieu of the breaking news. Then we turn to the breaking news that's impacting your fifth stimulus, that suddenly your SSI and SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits that are set to be raised up under the fifth stimulus package may be raised up even more because of the breaking news coming out of the Federal Reserve ahead of tomorrow's meeting. Incredible great news across the board on that one as well. And then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big money land in your bank account tomorrow, this week, and next week. We'll go over who's getting it and when are you getting it. And we'll go over the breaking details about what the president said about fourth stimulus and what Janet Yellen said about fourth stimulus today as well. It's a big night with incredible great news. I'm excited you're here. Let's get to it. This is Evenings LA. How you doing? It's a beautiful night across the land. It's relatively cool here in Los Angeles. Not cold, but absolutely beautiful weather tonight. How's the weather where you are? Thank you for joining me on Evenings LA. Wow, what a big recording we have tonight. I'm going to be going over that fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check that starts in the month of July, and we'll go over the breaking news that happened today that impacts it across the board. It's all great news. Then in the second half of the recording, we go over fifth stimulus that will get a lift in the fifth stimulus package of SSI and SSDI benefits a lifetime. But now breaking news suggests that there could be an additional lift in December. Wow, really incredible great news. And then we'll go over the big breaking news that impacts your fourth stimulus and why stimulus checks is getting universal support among both parties. This is Evenings LA. What a night it is. The only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news network. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoon, and overnight, literally around the clock. After this show is Crypto Tonight. And boy, my viewers are making fortunes, having a lot of fun, and getting into cryptocurrency. It's easy breezy, and I make it enjoyable. So tune into that recording in 2 hours after this. And then we go into a big night of overnight's broadcasts, a 9-hour feed. Jump into that live chat. That is coming up after that. Wow. So subscribe. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. 400,000 subscribers. Let's do it. Starting with the breaking news tonight. The House proposal may look a little bit less attractive tonight in view of the breaking details happening across the board. Initially, the House proposal looked more lucrative because there were more months of stimulus checks. But those more months of stimulus checks were dependent upon one word: pandemic. The House proposal, when comparing the Senate proposal, are similar in that they're both monthly stimulus checks. But the issue was different when you looked at how many stimulus checks. The House proposal, as you're looking right here, was for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. But tonight we may suggest new data that comes in that may indicate that the Senate proposal may be more lucrative. We'll compare that in a second. House proposal, the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. So there were 5 more months left of the pandemic, then that would be 17 months of stimulus checks. Senate proposal from July to December. And then when we compare the House and Senate proposal, the House proposal paid less per month at $1,000 a month after the first month. And while the Senate amount is unknown, it was expected to be a lot more money. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Wow, incredible great news. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. So while the House proposal initially looked better because of the terminology pandemic plus 1 year, there's new breaking news tonight that suggests that the Senate proposal is the more lucrative. Why? Because the pandemic may be over by the time they vote on the bill. The vote on the bill is in July. remember, I'm a reporter. I just report the news. I don't represent it, and I'm not legislating nor writing the bill. They represent the vote is in July for the 4 stimulus checks, and that means that the pandemic may be over by the time of the vote. Why do we believe that? Because what happened today, what happened yesterday, what's going to be happening all week long and started on Thursday, when the CDC announced that the mask mandate has been lifted nationally, if you're vaccinated indoors or outdoors. The President of the United States extended the order to the White House grounds on Friday. And then over the weekend and today, more companies like Ultra Beauty, Target, Home Depot, Trader Joe's said the mask mandate is lifted. We also heard from the states today. Andrew Cuomo said New York is getting lifted on Wednesday. New Jersey said not quite sure just yet. California said we're adamant. We're lifting it on June 15th. So the pandemic for legislative purposes may be done in July. And by all accounts, then the House proposal won't be pandemic plus 1 year. It'll be 1 year, 12 months of stimulus checks. So using that calculation, that would amount to $13,000 in 12 months because that first month is $2,000. The House proposal versus the Senate proposal. What's the Senate proposal? The same amount, nearly $12,000 potentially in 6 months. So if you're in the live chat watching this at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, drop in the comments right now which one you like. Senate versus House. Senate versus House. Incredible news. Now, let's go over the other great news about the 4 stimulus package. First, when do you get it? July, in the month of July, the first stimulus check. Then August, for the month of August. And away we go. There would not be any waves of stimulus checks. A wave of stimulus checks. Someone asked me this morning, what's a wave of stimulus check? It means when a different group of people get it each week. One group, 1 million group people get it 1 week, another million get it another week. No, everyone would get it. There would not be consecutive rollouts of stimulus checks. It would just land because they don't have time to do waves because you would suddenly be in the next month. And is this income? No, it is not a taxable event. Is there a different stimulus check for adult dependents, minor dependents, anyone else? Nope, you're all the same amount as well. And finally, how do they do this? Reconciliation, a 2-bill, 2-step, 2-month process already underway with a vote in July. No Republicans needed, all Democrats, and the president making the concessions already. Those details coming up later in this recording. Great, incredible news across the board. But I got more breaking news that impacts your 4th stimulus check coming up in the second half of this recording. So stay with me to the very end. This is a jam-packed recording. And I got a lot of money to get for you. Yes, I know that tax return deadline has passed, but I still got money to get you. That's how I do it here. So get a pen and paper ready and stay with me. But here's a preview of the second half of the video. In the second half of the video, I go over what's going on with 5th stimulus, that SSI and SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and survivor benefits lift. They're going to lift your benefits up to a big new number. But guess what? They're going to add a new benchmark, and that benchmark is inflation. And in advance of tomorrow, where the Federal Reserve is going to speak about inflation, we have new indication tonight that the inflation rate may be going through the roof, which means your benefits could go through the roof. Wow. Those incredible details coming up in the second half of this recording. How much money can you get? Tune in to the second half. So let's go to the meat and potatoes, the middle part of this video, starting right now. There's thousands, tens of thousands of dollars of money available for you, available right now at your city, county, and state. It is 3rd stimulus, not 4th stimulus. It's 3rd stimulus, the law that was passed in the spring, and it's taken this while, this long, for that $350 billion to land in your city, counties, and states. So go get it. It's landing this week, next week, and will continue to land. Where do you get it and how much can you get? I'm going to go over all the details starting right now. I hope you have that pen and paper ready. First, rent is the biggest payout. $5,000, about 4 to 6 months of rent. Go get it. It's available in your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, and your state housing authority. The key words you're going to use is rent assistance because of COVID. That's it. Rent assistance because of COVID. You can also add the Biden Economic Recovery Act, but you don't want to use the words like stimulus. Incredible, great news. Then there's money for utility assistance, a couple $100 to a couple thousand. Money for mortgage assistance, and then money for homeowners utility assistance. Great news. Go get it. Now, in addition to this money for rent and utilities and mortgage assistance is the big winner, SNAP. This is a lot of money, and a family of 4 in Hawaii can get upwards of $16,000 because of 2 executive orders that impact all citizens across the land. The Biden and the Trump executive orders raised SNAP 15% for 1 year. So $16,000 for 1 year for SNAP. What is SNAP? It is money for food. How much money? That amount of money. Where do you get it? Call 211 and ask for Department of Agriculture and get on Snap. I have over a couple dozen people contact me per week saying, thank you, I got on Snap. Thank you, I got the rent assistance. And this is what you need to know. Reality check number one tonight, which is you need to get the money for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowner assistance now because it's not coming back. This is the final hurrah for this money. Under the third stimulus package, they put that money in there so that they could lift, meaning get rid of, the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance in the next few weeks. Yes, reality check number two. The concept was to get you caught up on your bills for rent and utilities. So go get that money right now. It's stimulus stampede, as I coined the expression. People storming to get the money. It's a lot of money. It's the biggest payout you've seen of this channel because it's far more than a third stimulus check. That's what I said in January this year. We're not tracking checks, we're cashing checks. I want you to get the big money that was allocated for you because it's not being extended again and the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance are going away. And the concept is they want you to get caught up in your bills before that happens. Now, the other incredible great news is that thousands of dollars are landing in your bank account back from your state because of a new rule from the federal government. It's incredible great news. The federal government has ordered states to return money back to you that you return back to the states in recent weeks. What was this money? Thousands of dollars per person, where the states made computer glitches and paid you too much money to no fault of your own. Then contacted you and said, hi, return this money to your state's unemployment office, and you did. Well, the federal government has stepped in and said, nope, that was a mistake. They should not have said that. It was your money to keep. So the federal government is ordering the states to return the money back to you. No computer glitches, excuses allowed. Incredible, great news. If you want to know when you're going to get that money, reach out to your respective state for tracking information across the board. Which brings me to the incredible second item that's landing today, yesterday, and all this week. But I'll be going over the phases in this video, phase 1, 2, and 3, which continue all throughout the month of May. It's from the federal government. Thousands of dollars are being returned to viewers of this channel already who filed 2020 tax returns and pay taxes on their unemployment benefits to the federal government. That money is being returned. Let's go over how much money, how you're getting it, and when you're getting it, starting right now. First, how much money you're getting it. You're getting all the money you pay to the IRS for taxes on your unemployment. So, for example, let's say your unemployment benefits was $9,000 in 2020. Your total tax bill was $5,000, of which you paid a $4,000 tax bill to the IRS for that unemployment section. You're getting the $4,000 back from the IRS. Next, how? You're going to get it in the mail in a beige or white envelope with a beige check in there with the signature line refund. In rare circumstance, if you listed a direct deposit account on your tax return, it's going to there. And finally, when? When we now know from IRS, because of a new statement now revealed, is that it's coming in 3 phases. Phase 1 is this week and last week. Phase 2 is the end of this week and next week. And phase 3 is the last week of May. What's phase 1? Phase 1 is single filers who have nothing else on their tax return, no dependents, and no other refunds. Phase 2 are single filers who have complex tax returns, anything beyond what phase 1 doesn't have. And then phase 3 is everyone else, joint filers and husbands and wives. Great, incredible, great news. Which brings me to the breaking news tonight about your 4th stimulus check and 5th stimulus package. The President of the United States toured a Ford Motor plant today for the purposes of pushing his 4th stimulus package. And Ford invited him to push the rollout of their new Ford tomorrow. It was a mutually beneficial press conference. What's at issue? The president wants you to get the 4th stimulus package passed. And his message was to his Democratic leadership, again, for the umpteenth time, get it done. Incredible, great news. Remember, the 4th stimulus package does have an allotment for EV situations. And so he toured the Ford Motor plant to promote Ford's own rollout of something else, not a stimulus package, but the new Lightning, which is the new electric Ford F-150 pickup coming out tomorrow. And this is what Ford has said about it. The fact that the president has come shows a commitment and interest to our government that he's interested in the electrification of the auto industry. The fact that we're taking America's favorite vehicle and making it electrified is an exclamation point that hasn't been lost to anyone, including the president of the United States. Great news across the board. Then we had really negative news that supported for stimulus. The housing starts number came in and showed, wow, we really need for stimulus. Why? Because the housing starts dropped its lowest and its most severe drop in 15 years last month, down 13% in just 1 month. 15% of builders surveyed said they are building houses and leaving them at foundation concrete and not framing them because the cost of lumber is too expensive. Then we learned more about those mask mandates, as I told you, that Andrew Cuomo is lifting the mask mandate tomorrow in New York. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy hasn't made a decision. California is June 15th. Then a really surprising, strange story as a dark money group has been identified as funneling $2 million into ad campaigns to ensure that the fourth stimulus package is getting done. Dark money? The money's not dark, the group is dark. So this is an expression that refers to a group where you can't know who the donors are. And their purpose is to run ad campaigns to ensure that the fourth stimulus package is passed. Finally, we learned also that Janet Yellen wants fourth stimulus passed more than anyone else, but her message was a little mixed. She went to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to speak today and said that fourth stimulus needs to get passed with raising the corporate tax rate. We got that. But what did she say? With corporate taxes at a historical low, we believe that corporate sector can contribute to this effort. We propose simply to return the corporate tax to historical norms. Very good, but what does that mean? She's not giving us a rate, and so needless to say, the messaging was very muddied. The president, however, has done this better. In the last 7 days, the president came out and said, moderate Democrats have a question about or issue potentially about the corporate tax rate to pay for the fourth stimulus. It's currently at 21%. They don't want it. They want it higher. I want it higher. But I want it 28% to 29%. My moderate Democrats want in the middle. Deal. That's how the president said it. Deal. I'll meet you halfway. 25%, we're done. Incredible, great news. So this news from Janet Yellen is a little bit confusing. And needless to say, there you go. Tech and NASDAQ was down today on new inflationary concerns. Crypto was up. But it's a very volatile week across the board for the financial markets. I'll have more about that after the commercial break. But here's what you need to know. If you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners assistance, or finding internet, reach out to the volunteers. They're viewers like you. They're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, but they're listed on the community page. How do you find the community page? It's in the description to this video. Open the description and you'll see an emoji of a house, and it says community page. It'll send you to a link to news.la.com/community. That's news.la.com/community. It has a series of volunteers available there to reach out to. Reach out to them and they'll help you with your rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. And guess what? I'll be back in 60 seconds with great news still about your fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus. Here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LALATE. Exciting great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021, your fifth stimulus package, that SSI reform, and more. And additional breaking news across the land happening tonight. How are you? This is Evenings LALATE. Having a great evening? How's the weather where you are? I'm in the live chat, so say hi. Hi, how are you? It's a big night across the board. Coming up in 2 hours from now is Late Night Crypto, our hit show, where viewers are making fortunes, 30, 40, 50, 70, doubling their money in 7 days. I mean, just insane. I've been really on top of it, and they're having a ball and making a lot of money. So join me on that show. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. Wow. What an achievement. 1 year and a few days. Thank you. Thank you. 400,000 subscribers. Let's get it to 1 million. Also, like this video. 3,000 likes. Subscribe and like. It really helps in the algorithm rankings, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Let's get to Fifth Stimulus. Fifth Stimulus got a very, very fascinating twist today and on Friday. But tomorrow it's going to get another twist. I'll give you a preview of what's going on. So Fifth Stimulus is that SSI and SSDI reform that we've been detailing on the channel. Let's go over it again and go over the breaking news and how that impacts the money. They'll raise your benefits, remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark. That's where the news is breaking. Then remove the marriage penalty, and then remove the income exclusion. Now, let's go over what that means, but also understand why the breaking news is just keeps on getting better and better every day. So what are they going to do? Under Fifth Stimulus, which is in September, they would raise your benefits up to a big new number. That would be your big new number. And then they would add a new benchmark. That benchmark is inflation. So let's go over that slowly. First, who's you? It's you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits. So they're going to raise your benefits up and then attach a new benchmark, inflation. What does a benchmark mean? It means every December they look at your benefits and say, oh, inflation went up 4% this year, so we're going to raise your benefits next year 4% and starting in the month of January. Pretty easy. So here's how it works. They're going to raise up your benefits one time because of the Fifth Stimulus Package law. And then in December, they're going to look at inflation and determine what the inflation rate is. If it goes up, then they're going to raise your benefits up. So let's say inflation is 4% in December. You'll go up another 4%. Now, let's say the year after that, inflation is 5%. You'll go up another 5%. If the year after that, for the next 10 years, it's 0% inflation, you don't step down. What's important to understand about a step up or a benchmark is that all it does is step up or stays the same. It never steps down. Which brings us to the incredible great news going into tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to see the minutes from the Federal Reserve, which is singularly one of the big important people in the determining factor about what is inflation. Now, the Federal Reserve, I have to pre-warn you, is absolutely categorically not going to say the inflation rate before now in December is higher than 2.5%. Why? Because they can't. They can't say that. It'll cause world markets to go into a tailspin. Now, that's even if inflation is going to be more than 2.5%. They're not going to say that. That's not how they do it. But yesterday, we saw incredible great news from one of the regional Fed heads out of Atlanta. When asked about the inflation rate, he refused to answer, but he did reveal his consumer price index tracker. His consumer price index tracker showed that currently he's tracking at 4%. When the CPI and the PPI, which are also inflationary benchmarks, are tracking around then. But he says that for December, instead of 4%, he has a 10%. Wow. So he is predicting this economy to speed up in growth nearly 250% between now and December. That means that the inflation rate will not be 2.5% to 4%, people. It may not be 20%, but it may be 10%. On Friday, Jeremy Siegel, big professor at the School of Wharton, came out and said that the inflationary rate in December will be 20%. You don't have to believe Jeremy Siegel, but now we see more suggestions that potentially it could be upwards of 10%, which means that your benefits will be raised up one time and then additional 10% on top of that. Incredible great news across the board. Now, what else are they doing? They're going to remove the asset cap. That's very helpful. The asset cap dates back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and keep more than approximately $3,000 on hand. It's going to go away. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't make benefits and stay, you can't get benefits and also work. So now if you want to go work $1,000, $2,000 a month, you can and get off benefits. And finally, they're going to remove The marriage penalty. And I've had so many people in the comments say, thank goodness. Amen. The marriage penalty penalizes you because you get married and also prevents you from getting married because of losing your benefits. So they're going to get rid of that once and for all. Incredible, great news. So when is fifth stimulus going to heat up? It would heat up in September. It's a two-bill, two-step, two-month process, like fourth stimulus. September to the finish line. And there you go. Very great news. You'll likely see your impact on your benefits around October, November. Which brings me back now to fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus is getting really great news because of the fourth stimulus check. And now because legislators are understanding that fourth stimulus check is not the same as other instruments. Fourth stimulus could have had stimulus for unemployment, stimulus for rent, and stimulus checks. But now Democrats universally believe that stimulus for rent needs to go away, cannot be continued anymore. So the eviction moratorium and the mortgage forbearance going away, renters assistance, homeowners assistance going away. They don't want to continue it. Their concept was to get you caught up one time and one time only, and that's third stimulus, so that they can lift the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance in the fourth stimulus package. Get you caught up for rent, not get caught up for bills. That's stimulus checks in a second from now. And then when we talk about unemployment assistance, they don't want to continue FPUC or PUA or PEUC. That's not to say they want to fix the system, but they don't want to extend unemployment benefits for federal standards. And that's also agreed upon by Republicans. Now, Ron Wyden, he wants to fix the system because PUA has no replacement. So if you get rid of PUA, well, then if you're an independent contractor, you can never get unemployment assistance ever again because it never existed until March of 2020. It was created by the pandemic. It was a great idea because if you're an Uber Lyft driver and you suffer some type of financial downturn, there is no unemployment assistance because you're not an employee unless, you're battling that argument in the states of the courts. So that is incredible great news across the board, which brings us now to fourth stimulus checks. Legislators finally realize, and finally for the first time in the history of the channel, understand that stimulus checks are not unemployment stimulus, are not rental stimulus. The purpose of stimulus checks is to get you caught up on your bills. You went in this pandemic, you had a lot of bills, you got behind on your bills, and they want to get you caught up on your bills. Viewers have said, now that we're coming out of the pandemic, then what? You're coming out of the pandemic, you're still going to be behind on your bills. It's about as simple as that. People that are working are behind on their bills. People who own businesses are still behind on their bills. So people are behind on their bills, and the best way to do it is a big, fast cash infusion, which is the Senate plan. Stimulus check, 6 months, every month of a sizable amount so you get caught up on your bills. And there you go. Finally, an important message which I have to deliver is that, needless to say, because the president has been doing so many different stimulus packages that overlap each other, some viewers who are not members and are not even subscribers have been confused by the timing of elements and thinking one item is another item. Let me go over why this has happened. The third stimulus checks for rent, the third stimulus money for rent is landing now. The third stimulus refunds for unemployment are landing in May. The third stimulus items for the children land in July. The fourth stimulus vote for the monthly stimulus checks happen in July. The budget bill, which has nothing to do with stimulus and has to be done by both parties, is done also in July. And the SSI and SSDI reform is in the fifth stimulus package in September, which, while called the American Family Plan, also has money for single individuals. If that all sounds inherently confusing, it is, because the stimulus packages overlap. So, I think at this point, what we have seen is that, needless to say, viewers who are subscribers and members of this channel have been able to understand when their money is coming. But there's always a troll that jumps in the comments and says, no, the stimulus checks in July are only for children. That's true if you're talking about third stimulus, not talking about fourth stimulus. We're talking about fourth stimulus. And that's unfortunately the situation. That third stimulus items are still landing. They're landing in May, they're landing in June, and they're landing in July. And they'll land every single month all the way till next year. That's third stimulus. while fourth stimulus heats up in July and fifth stimulus heats up in September. And there you go. It's a big night across the board, but guess what? If you're a subscriber, you understand this. And if you're a member, you see the data. Tonight, get a new line of PDFs coming to you directly from me for members. It delineates and separates out the items in the third stimulus, the fourth stimulus, and the fifth stimulus because it needs to be separated out. And with that, join me tonight on Live Crypto coming up in 2 hours from now. It is our big crypto evening show. It's a lot of fun. If you're new to crypto, you never tried it, just tune in. You'll get the hang of it. It's very easy. You can start investing for just $1, or you can just sit back and learn and have a lot of fun. A lot of familiar faces in there, and they're making a lot of money. So subscribe, like this video, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening, and I'll see you 2 hours from now as Crypto Night heats up.